Louise, it is so lovely to have you here on the podcast. Um,
Oh,
Go on, yeah.
thank you, Lily. Yeah, it's really lovely to be here with you, Lily. I'm so happy to be having this conversation.
Yeah, no, me too, because of course we've met each other through the network, through our networking group, and it was definitely a kind of a thing of like, yes, these two people should meet. And I'm so glad that we have met because I think that we do very similar work, but in very different ways.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, you would
100%.
agree?
Yeah. I definitely felt a meeting of minds, a kind of kindred spirit, kind of a
Yeah.
vibe from the
Mm,
conversations we've had so far. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward
mm.
to diving in a bit more.
Yeah, let's do it. So, for people listening, tell us more about yourself and your work.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I am Louise Miller, and the short answer is that I'm a productivity mentor, but I tend not to say that because I think it gives people the wrong impression. I think when I use that phrase,
Mm,
people think I'm going to teach them how to manage their time and what systems and tools to use and all of that kind of jazz. And that's not what I
sure.
do at all.
Mm,
My approach is about helping people be more productive and get the important things done, but
mm,
not through all of that kind of systems and tips and tools and hacks and all that stuff, because those
sure.
things, they work for 5 minutes until they don't work anymore, in my
Mm,
experience. So
yeah.
I'm more about giving people the time and the space that they need to think really clearly, to reconnect with their vision, remember what it is they're trying to achieve, think about what else is going on in their lives that's important to them, and to
Mm,
help them make really good choices about what they're
mm,
going to focus on so that
mm.
they can make sure they're investing their precious time, energy, and attention in a meaningful, kind of intentional way.
Yeah, I've got you. It sounds as though it's much more of the deeper work. It's the harder work, certainly for people. But I'm a big believer in this same message that if you get the core right, it bubbles up and the surface level type things fit because it's all aligned.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And I'm sure we'll get into it as we go
Mm,
through our conversation, but there's such a lot missing from kind of traditional
mm,
productivity fixes that people go looking for when they just want the quick fix.
right.
And that means, that's partly why these things never tend to work in the long term. So yeah, in a way, it is deeper, but actually that
Mm.
kind of simplifies it a little bit, I think,
Okay.
which I'm sure we'll come to. But
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would like tell me now. Like,
Okay. I just think people tend to overcomplicate these things. They're out there looking for the fix. They're downloading all of the apps, thinking
mm,
this is going to be the thing that works. They're setting up new Trello boards or Asana accounts and
mm,
putting everything into there, trying to
yeah.
hope that the system is going to solve their problem. And
Mm,
actually, you
mm,
don't need to be doing all of that, at least not as a
mm.
starting point. All you need to do, I say all you need to do, it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy, as with a lot of things,
Sure, sure.
is to just take a step back and allow yourself to
Mm,
give yourself that time and space to
mm,
think clearly.
mm, mm.
Because if you're not doing that to start with, if you don't have clarity around what you're trying to achieve and all of the things that need to happen, all you're doing when you're putting stuff into those
Yeah,
systems is getting the chaos out of your head and putting it into a system. It's not
right.
actually going to help you.
Sure.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a bit of a relief for people quite often when they discover
Mm,
actually it can be simpler than that.
mm. Okay. Yes. I guess the harder part is to get clarity. Because I
Mm.
suppose if somebody is feeling torn or kind of out of alignment themselves, that is where we need to start. But it's a harder place, isn't it? Would
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it can be. And I think in today's I'm going to sound like an old person today.
Oh, do
In
it.
today's society, where everyone's running around like headless chickens the whole time,
Hmm.
and we're chasing something, feeling like we're chasing something and we're not getting there fast enough, and there's all this pressure to
Sure.
hustle and go quicker all of the time
Yeah.
because we need to achieve the thing.
Hmm.
It is hard because getting that clarity requires space around it. You can't
Yeah.
think your way into it necessarily.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and I see that a lot. I used to do that a lot myself as well. If I was in a challenge, I would attempt to mind map my way out of it
Hmm.
and,
Okay.
think my way out of it using my highly developed logical brain.
Hmm. Hmm.
And all that does quite often, if you're in the overwhelm and you're in the frazzlement, is
Yeah.
to dig you in even deeper because
Yeah.
you're looking for the perfect solution. All of this requires space. And I think that's the challenge of
Hmm.
getting that clarity
Yeah.
is allowing yourself the space for it to,
Yeah.
it sounds so
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was going to say allow the space for it to come to you,
Okay.
and we can create the conditions for that. And I think we're so impatient. We just want to know the answer,
Mm.
and we don't give it the
Yeah.
space to kind of bubble up.
Yeah. I'm with
That
you.
makes sense.
It
Yeah.
totally does. And impatient or patience was what was coming to my head as you were speaking. Because one
Mm,
part of me, I can really appreciate it, that it might feel really counterintuitive or almost a bit paradoxical to say, the feeling is like, I need to go. Like, particularly as business owners, or if you have a family that when there's kids flying around, you
mm.
think, I need to make a decision and I have to move. So then to tell yourself, like, let's pause, let's go up into the treehouse. I want to come back to that. The treehouse. You
Yeah.
think, yeah, it makes no sense in your body to go, let me actually stop. It can sometimes feel as though it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Um,
100%. And that I think is the biggest challenge and the biggest blocker for people is to help them understand that it absolutely does make sense and is not a
yeah,
waste of time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, completely. I already mentioned the treehouse. Some people listening are going to be going like, "What? Like, go back a second." So tell me more about the treehouse.
Yes, and this is the perfect segue to do that because I think it relates to what we were just talking about really beautifully. So, when you are running a business, and I think even more so if you are running a business as part of a family or a couple,
Mm,
I would just love for you to imagine for a minute that that journey of running that business is like going on a walk through a forest. So
mm,
you want desperately to get to, well, you want to get to the other side. You do want to enjoy the journey as well. It's not just about getting to the other side, but you're on this journey through the forest, and it starts out feeling all lovely. You know the direction you're going in, and it's
yeah,
marvelous, and everyone's getting on fine, and it's wonderful. And then there can come a point where instead of the lovely dappled sunlight that feels lovely, you find
mm,
yourself in little damp, dark, muddy corners
right.
and you're having to start looking at your feet because there's puddles, there's tree roots, there's all sorts of things that could trip you up along the way.
Mm,
Maybe you start having a disagreement with the people that you're with about which is
mm,
the correct way to go.
yeah.
The kids want snacks. There's all this stuff
Mm,
going on
mm,
as you're walking through the forest. And for the longer that you carry on that journey, and you're getting into all of these little muddy corners and things, you can start to feel like you're going in the wrong direction. You start to think, oh, I've seen that tree before.
yeah,
Have we been here before?
yeah.
And it can start to feel um, confusing,
Mm,
overwhelming. You can start to panic about
mm,
not knowing where you are, not knowing where you're going.
yeah.
Let's assume we have no cell phone. We've got no mobile phone reception in this
Mm,
place, so we can't
mm,
just look at Google Maps. So
sure,
we're
sure.
starting to feel a bit lost. So you've got two choices when that starts to happen, either
Mm,
to keep walking and hoping for the best,
right.
or to take a pause.
Mm, mm,
And it just so happens you're in this forest, you're a bit confused, you're not quite sure where you are and if you're going in the right direction. And you see that there's a tree house up in the
mm,
highest branches of a lovely tall tree that's not too far away. It looks really cozy, it looks really inviting.
mm,
And you decide you're going to take a walk up there. So you go up to the tree house, climb up to the tree house, collapse into one of the cushions that are sitting there waiting for you when you get there,
mm,
have a little cup of tea, open up your snacks, have a little biscuit.
mhm,
And just recover yourself and refresh yourself and just start to settle a little bit. And then when the panic has started to disappear,
yeah,
you can go over to the window
yeah.
and look out over the
Mm,
forest and you can look back to where you've come from
mm,
and actually
mm,
see the progress you have made. Remind yourself of how far you've come.
yeah.
You can see your destination over there in the distance, so you can remind yourself of where you're trying to get to. And then
Mm,
you can look down onto the forest floor and
mm,
start to map out and get a rough sense of the direction you're going to go in to get you to where you want to go.
yeah, yeah.
You can rally the troops, everyone get back on the same
Mm,
page,
mm,
climb back down onto that forest floor so that when you get back
mm,
down there, you are feeling resourced, you know where you're going, you've got the clarity of where you want to get to, and
yeah,
you can set off again,
yeah,
in a calmer way. And I
yeah,
think it's very tempting when you're in that situation, if you're starting to panic on that forest floor, to just think, we just need to
yeah,
keep going.
yeah,
The
yeah.
most productive thing I can do is just to keep going.
Mm,
But I think we can agree that the most productive thing that happened was that
mm,
going up to the treehouse and just giving yourself a minute,
sure, sure.
because that's what resources you to carry on. So
Yeah.
hopefully that helps to kind of explain the
Mm,
importance and how valuable it is to take that time in the treehouse.
yeah, yeah. I hear you because it sounds as though absolutely that the best decisions are made from being well rested, well resourced, and then leaning on like the strategy, I'm going to call it, like knowing where you're going. as opposed to that panic.
Yeah.
Completely. In
Yeah.
real life, what is the treehouse?
I love the framing of that question.
Hmm.
It can be whatever you want. I mean, I'm just, before I get to the specifics of answering that question,
Hmm.
there's something
Hmm.
else I just want to cover because I think that this will
Please.
help. So,
Hmm.
one of the things, it's important to think about what you're doing in the treehouse, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice to just have a rest, but if you want it to be a strategic kind of pause,
Yeah.
then there's other things that need to happen as well. And I've come up with this idea of the progress cycle,
Okay.
which is where the first thing we do is pause,
Hmm.
which is about settling yourself. And
Hmm.
then you get to reflect, which is the reflecting on where you've been, reflecting on where you're going, noticing what's been working, what hasn't been working, and do all of that kind of
Hmm.
useful thinking.
Hmm.
And from there, so we've paused, we've reflected, then you get to make a choice.
Hmm.
So that's where you then choose what you're going to do next,
Yeah. Yeah.
choose the direction you want to take. And only then should we start taking action.
Hmm.
So we go pause, reflect, choose, act.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you've done that and done those 4 steps, completing the thing that you started kind of becomes inevitable.
Hmm.
So pause, reflect, choose, act. And if
Yeah.
you can keep going around in that cycle, that's what will keep you moving forward.
Hmm.
So to answer your question around, you know,
Hmm.
what I love your framing of it, and I've already
Hmm.
forgotten what you said. What
Oh,
is the
yeah.
treehouse in day-to-day life? Was
Yeah.
that how you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, any space you can give yourself to do that pause, reflect, and choose.
Hmm.
And that might look like, monthly planning, taking an hour, taking 90 minutes to sit and plan out your month with the
Hmm.
people, with the people that are involved in that, in your family, if that's helpful. You might want to take yourself off to do
Hmm.
some pausing on your own first and then come back together to do the reflecting and the choosing together.
Hmm.
So it can be a big thing that you do at the start of the year, the start of the quarter, the start of the month.
Hmm.
It can also be a really small kind of micro
Hmm.
level thing where, for example, after you and I have finished this conversation and we've said
Hmm.
goodbye and hung up Zoom,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
we can take a little pause and reflect and choose what we're going to do next
Hmm.
rather than just go and immediately check our inboxes.
Yeah.
So you can use it in the gaps in
Hmm.
between the tasks as well to help you make sure that you're using your time well.
Yeah.
You can start every day in the treehouse and go, okay,
Hmm.
before I switch anything on, I'm just going to have a little think. What am I trying to achieve?
Moment.
What am I going to do today? So there's so
Hmm.
many different ways that we can use that
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
give ourselves either big pauses or little micro pauses that will keep us on track and
Hmm.
moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I've got you. Like it could be family meeting
Yeah,
every quarter,
yeah,
or and it can be daily, almost ritual micro moments. And I
mm,
really appreciate what you say that this could be the whole cycle, the 4 steps could be completed in a matter of moments.
yeah,
Because I wouldn't want to give people the impression that this must be like a clamber up to somewhere else that's like a mission in and of itself.
no.
It doesn't have to be like that.
No,
Um,
100%. Yeah. And I think, just using checking your inbox as an example, I think so
mm,
many of us have our email open all of the time so that the minute something comes in, our eyes are drawn over there, like, oh, I wonder what's happened. And as
yeah,
business owners, we always want to know what's going on because it could be
yeah,
new business, it could be something really exciting.
yeah.
But if we just pause and go, right, okay, I'm just going to check my inbox for 5 minutes and
Mm,
we go in with intention.
mm,
You've paused, you've reflected on what you're going to do, you've chosen you're looking at your inbox, you
mm.
deal with whatever's there, send whatever you need to send, and you're done.
It's gone.
Close it down, move on to the next thing, rather
Yeah,
than it being this kind of undercurrent of potential distraction that's going
yeah,
to,
yeah,
interfere with the rest of your day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally get that. How about when people are working in teams? Because of course, I think your clients are similar to mine in a sense that perhaps they're not maybe not be family businesses or couples who have a business together, but when you've got a team that they need to be pausing, reflecting, probably at the same time, because if you've got one person in the treehouse and the other one's now lost, then
Yeah.
that's a different situation that needs care.
Yeah.
So tell me about that when people may not be aligned together.
Yeah. Yeah. I think creating those collective moments, and I talk a lot about rhythm. I prefer the word rhythm to routine because rhythm to me
Okay.
feels a lot more gentle. It can speed up, it can slow down based on what season you're in, but it is still about doing the things you need to do to keep you moving forward.
Okay.
If you can find a rhythm with the people that you're working with, where whatever that looks like for you, is it a start of the day? Here's what
Mm,
everyone's doing today,
yeah.
which could just take 10 minutes. Um,
Mm.
it could be taking yourself off somewhere every quarter and doing a deeper,
Yeah,
bigger
sure.
treehouse moment.
Mm.
It could be at the end of the day reflecting on what everyone's been up to and deciding what's happening tomorrow.
Mm.
Um, but I think the key thing is to have the conversation so that
Mm.
everyone involved is aware of why it's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think if there's one person who's resisting
Mm.
it, thinking this is a waste of my time, I've got too much to do, it's always going to be a
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
Um, and I also think I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on this.
Mm.
I feel, again, everyone, we're also very different, and I'm sure we'll talk about that as well as the conversation
Mm.
unfolds. But
Mm.
for me to be useful in that
Yeah.
treehouse situation, I almost need to have had my
Okay.
own little mini treehouse moment
Okay.
so I can gather my thoughts first.
Okay. Yep.
So whilst in a family dynamic, group dynamic, I think having
Yeah.
those kind of fixed
Mm.
spaces to do that
Mm.
together,
Yeah.
knowing yourself well enough to know when that would serve you, just to give, even if it's just
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you have any thoughts around that?
Yeah. I have pretty much the same thought. Like
Yeah,
the importance of having group tree houses. We're totally we're committed to the treehouse analogy, aren't we?
we are. We're
I
going with
love
it. Yeah.
it. But completely, we've got in my work, family treehouse. Treehouse, I have to admit, is not really an everyday word that I would use with my clients,
Yeah,
but
of
here
course.
it's working.
Yeah.
So, family treehouse, business treehouse, because of course you've got different people. If people have members of staff who are not a part of the family,
Yeah.
you've got certain tree houses that certain people don't belong in, essentially.
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of exclusion is the brutal word for it, but for lack of a better word, is what it is. Some
Yeah.
doors aren't open to everybody.
Mm.
Um, family treehouse, business treehouse, and then individual treehouse. In my world, I actually name it three dynamics. And I have three little circles. In the middle, you've got the family business in sort of the Venn diagram. You've
Mm.
got the individual dynamic, the family dynamic, and the business dynamic. And as I say, in the center, you've got the family business.
Yeah.
Um, Absolutely key. And I think that you make a great point about certain people needing their own space to kind of take care of oneself as an individual and then being able to come into the different spheres, the different tree houses.
Yeah.
Completely. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess in that instance, the people in charge, for want of a better word, it's
Mm-hmm.
about recognizing that that's important for those team members as well and allowing them that
Okay.
space.
Yeah.
Um, which I would hope in smaller businesses that are family run isn't so much of an issue as it is in big companies where people are
Sure.
scared about looking like they're not doing something for fear of somebody
Yeah.
wagging a finger at them. Hopefully
Sure.
that's not going on in smaller
Yeah.
businesses quite so much. But yeah.
Yeah, no. You make a point that I feel the more complex size has got to do with the complexity. Because if
Mm,
you've got loads of family branches, just to talk about the family side of it, there's something called a family branch, which is kind of exactly what it sounds like a tree, and then different subfamilies, if you want to. The language here gets really not useful because different people have different words for what they call their subfamily. This might resonate to some people, not to others, but
yeah.
different branches of the family that might have different ownership levels of, say, a company,
Mm,
depending on the size of the company, of course,
mm,
on the one hand, but you might also have loads of different departments and thousands of members of staff.
mm,
So the business side has also become more complex, which
mm.
can make things more complicated, or some people are brilliant at keeping, complicated things or complex things quite simple.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It's being able to acknowledge what people need, recognizing that we don't all
mm,
work in the same way.
yeah.
Back when I had my team leadership position before I started this business kind of 10 plus
Mm,
years ago,
mm,
I felt very grateful to have an office that I could shut the door on, whereas my team didn't have that. So I made a point of
mm.
swapping desks with them
Okay,
regularly and allowing
okay.
them to come and sit in my office with the door closed while I sat there off at their desk so that they could get some quiet time because I felt so lucky to have that, you know. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
allowing and understanding other people and giving them the conditions as best
Mm,
you can to do their best work as well, isn't it?
yeah.
Mm.
I love it that you let people have your desk, like literally sit in your chair. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I think being in an open plan office, I know we're going off track, but being
Yeah.
in an open plan office where there's, I was at universities, there's students and academics and everything coming. If you've got something to concentrate on, it's really hard.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, allowing
Yeah.
people that space.
Yeah. But now I'm just going to start complimenting you a whole bunch. But I mean, what difference a leader can make, to say, yeah, okay, like let me help you, even if that might, like, quote unquote, cost me a little something. I'm going to
Yeah.
part with my own desk and my own space so that you, my team, can can benefit. I love
Mm.
that.
Oh, thank
Um,
you. Yeah.
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the sort of blurred boundaries because I mean, hot topic for family businesses when there's mm, not always, there may not be a physical boundary between where you work and where you live.
Mm.
What are your thoughts here? Chime in.
Chime in. Yeah. So I think it is so challenging. I mean, my husband, he works from home. He
Mm,
doesn't have his own business. He has worked self-employed before, so he understands, but he's got a job now. But
mm,
because he's the only person that I see regularly, because I'm working from home all the time, he
mm,
gets me talking about my business constantly, which is
mm.
not always ideal. And I think if you
Okay.
are all in the same business, it is very tempting whenever a thought pops into your head, which it will because we're human and that's what our brains do,
Yeah.
especially when we're trying to do something else. The brain's problem
Mm,
solving in the background and serves
mm,
up solutions to things, which is
mm.
marvelous.
Yeah.
But I think always feeling the need to verbalize those things in the moment,
Mm, mm.
as tempting as it is, can
Sure.
actually be quite harmful because
Okay.
the other people in your family might be needing
Mm,
the
mm.
break, might be needing to not think about things. And if you're constantly trying to bring the conversation back round to the brilliant idea that
Mm.
you've just had,
Yeah.
it makes it very difficult for anybody to switch off.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I feel like, and obviously communication is key in all of this and making sure everybody is on the same page in terms of what the boundaries
Mm.
are that are going to work for everyone.
Yeah.
But finding a way of catching those thoughts and
Yeah.
parking them somewhere until it's an appropriate time to have the
Yeah.
conversation, I think is really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I get
yeah.
that. I get that. It sounds a lot to do with I mean, physical boundaries.
Mm.
I know we mentioned that a little moment ago. Like, this is the actual office and that's the actual living room, which may be different rooms in a physical house or maybe not, maybe different buildings, who knows? But
Yeah.
there's also the
Yeah.
boundary, a much more intangible boundary that's invisible to see of like when and where to bring things up.
Mm.
Um, you know,
Yeah. I think it's a good point about the different environments and the different spaces that you're in. I think that can serve as a really useful visual
mm,
reminder
sure.
of this is not the space for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, and it's sort of how do you mark the end of the working day? What could
Mm,
you do physically? Is there a door? And we don't,
yeah.
not everyone's got a door they can close.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what can you do? And, I've talked before about sort of changing up the lighting in the space.
Mm,
To,
okay.
it's a bit more difficult at this time of year, but when it
Mm,
starts getting dark, you can change the lighting and go, right, we're in
yeah.
relaxing mode now. We're in family time mode.
Yeah.
Um, Putting some music on just to shift,
Mm,
to mark the transition. I think it's the transition that can be really
yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
I used to have a terrible habit of at the end of the day, I would just get up and walk off. I wouldn't close my
Mm,
laptop down. I wouldn't always even
mm,
close the screen. I'd just get up and walk away.
okay.
And
Okay.
then I've never fully switched off.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it took me a while to realize that's what I was doing because I'd keep going back and going, oh, I wonder if anything's happened because it is so
Yeah.
tempting. Your business is so
Yeah.
important when it's the thing that's paying your bills.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
I'm trying to get better at actually going, right, I'm transitioning
mm,
now, being really
mm,
clear what the ritual is around that
mm. Yeah.
and doing it.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
And it's almost giving yourself a buffer as well, It's sort of maybe if you're saying to
Mm,
yourself, okay, I'm just throwing arbitrary times out here. This is not the
mm,
correct. But,
yeah.
at 5, I'm going to start to think about
Mm,
winding down and planning for tomorrow and whatever I'm doing at the end of the day, so that by 5:30 or by 6, I am
yeah.
laptop closed, out of the room, door
Mm,
closed.
yeah. Yeah. No, I get that completely. I
Mm.
love it that you make the point about for some people, their businesses are absolutely everything. You know, some people probably resonate with the word everything, and other people may not exactly. But I think if you've got a couple that have got a business together and they may be starting out or they may not, so oftentimes with my clients, they do come along and they say, "This is absolutely everything. Like we are evolved. Like the center is the business."
Mm,
With these people, I feel like it would be a real challenge to say, okay, everybody stop at 5, let's say. I think it's one pushback that I get a lot in my business, and I have to really tell my clients, like, I am not gonna like enforce any hard lines. Like it literally, like, absolutely not. And the challenge only comes when you've got one person who needs to switch off at 5, and you've got another person that must keep going until like all night long. Like that's
mm.
the only challenge, that if people aren't aligned, like different conversation now,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. And then, there's so many different ways of working with that I know you'd be
Mm,
absolutely brilliant at helping people to
mm,
unpick. It could be that there's a bit of time, a couple of hours, which is family time, and then the person
yeah,
who feels they're at their most productive at that time can go back to it.
yeah,
It's not that both people need to be doing the work at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah,
We can still honor how we work best as long as we're also creating space
yeah.
for life outside of that. Because I think I
Mm,
do understand business feels like everything,
sure.
particularly if we're lucky here. Tom's got his income, I've got mine. So it's
Mm,
if something goes wrong, we've got
yeah,
each other, we can,
sure.
the other person can step in. That's not always the case if it's a family business. So it does
Yeah.
feel like that.
Mm,
But what I would invite people to think about in that case is, well, what is that for?
yeah,
What life are you trying to create
yeah,
by having this business?
certainly.
There's
Yeah.
the impact you're trying to make with the business
Mm,
for the people that that business is helping and the problem that
mm,
it's solving. But what are
mm,
you creating that for in terms of your own life and your
yeah,
own experience of living this life?
yeah, yeah.
Because something I see all the time is people waiting until they get
Mm,
to the destination before they allow
mm,
themselves to
mm,
enjoy
mm,
and have fun
yeah,
and not feel guilty about taking that time away and taking that break. And I
yeah.
think if we're constantly focused on the end game,
Mm,
those goalposts will keep moving.
yeah.
You'll achieve the thing you set out to achieve, half the time not even notice, and already
Mm,
be on to the next thing. So
yeah.
I'm very big on encouraging people to enjoy the life that they're designing for themselves now, rather than
Yeah,
waiting until
yeah,
some time that will never come.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
No, I think it is absolutely the bullseye. Like quite seriously, of like, what is the reason why this is even a thing? Like why is everybody working so hard? Like what is it for?
Mm.
Oftentimes with my clients, it is the purpose of it was in order to work together. Like they wanted to do something together. It's oftentimes the reason why, and I will ask my clients, like, why family business? Like, why employ, say, your wife or your husband or brother or sister, and not somebody else who's non-family? And they'll go, it's because it is my wife. Like that is the reason. So it's really
Mm.
going back to the original motivation and the vision. And then oftentimes if I see people, because it's not all my clients that might be in conflict and there's a lot of disagreements, people are really unhappy because it was never the reason why all of this started.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah,
it's a thing.
yeah. And that is something else to take into the treehouse, is reminding yourself of that
Mm,
often, because I think, again, another thing I see happen, and I guess this would be the case for people deciding to start business with their family, you have all those conversations at the beginning about what it is that you're trying to achieve and what your vision's
yeah.
going to be. You
Mm,
sit down in January when you're all excited
yeah.
about the start of the new year and you map out, you think about your vision
Mm,
and your goals, and then never look at it ever again
yeah. Sure.
until the next January rolls around or until there's some kind of big problem that needs addressing.
Yeah.
If we can keep checking in with that vision
Mm,
often, in Make It Happen Club, which is a space I run to support people with their planning, we look at
mm,
vision. I invite them to do that every quarter, every month,
mm,
so that we can make sure they're moving in the right direction. And I think that's even more important
mm,
when it's a family unit, because is the vision still shared? Do
mm,
both people still want the same thing?
yeah.
We all change as we get older.
Yeah.
And if you're assuming that you're still on the same page that you were 5 years
Mm,
ago and you're never having
mm,
that conversation,
yeah.
I can imagine that's the source of a lot of
Yeah.
difficulty and conflict as well. So
Yeah.
vision is so key to productivity and is so key to kind of
Mm,
contentment, I
yeah.
suppose, for want of a better word.
Yeah. Totally. When you say it's a maybe curveball, probably should have asked this right at the very beginning. But when you say productivity, is that a different way to say taking action? That's that part there? Or what do we mean when we say productivity?
Oh, I love that you've asked me that. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. Most people, if you ask them what they mean by productivity or what productivity means, they'll say they're trying, it's about trying to do more in less time or some version of that.
Okay.
Um, I take issue with that because I feel like that sense of trying to get more done in less
Mm,
time feels really constraining and restrictive and stressful.
okay.
Feel like it's setting you as an individual up in battle
Mm,
with time,
okay.
which you're never going to win
Yeah.
because time is going to keep on timing. So trying to constantly get more done in less time, I don't think is
Mm,
helpful.
yeah.
So, and that actually made me ill in my former life. It
Mm,
caused work-related stress and anxiety is a whole other story. So
okay.
when I started doing this work, knowing that what I'm good at is helping people get stuff done and get organized and
Mm,
figure out what they're doing and when they're doing it and all of that good stuff,
mm,
I needed to reframe how we think about productivity first
mm,
before I felt comfortable doing that because I didn't want to send people off down this path
mm,
towards burnout. So
yeah.
my definition of productivity, that's what I work with and
Mm,
I encourage my clients to work with, is that it's about getting the important things done as efficiently as you can. So it's
efficiency.
not about doing all of the things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in fact, I missed a bit. It's about doing the important things efficiently as you can to create space for what you love.
Mm,
So it's not doing all the doing so you can do more doing.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's doing what's important so that you can create space for the life or the business that you want to be creating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and going back to what you said about is productivity taking action, for me,
Mm,
productivity is what happens before you do anything.
mm,
Productivity is what happens before you take
mm.
action because it's in that pause, reflect, and choice that we spoke about earlier.
Right. Got
Because
you.
if you're not pausing, you're not reflecting on what's going well, what's not going well, where you're trying to get
Mm,
to,
yeah.
and then you're not choosing what you're going to focus on and actively choosing what you're not going to focus on.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you start taking action, you're not being productive.
Mm,
You're just
mm,
being busy
yeah.
and potentially being
Exactly.
busy going off in the wrong direction, doing things that don't actually need to happen.
Yeah.
So the productivity, the key to productivity is what happens
Mm,
before you do anything in my
mm.
book.
Okay. That's the key. Yes.
Mm,
It sounds like productivity is a real umbrella word that indeed a part of it is taking action.
yeah.
Uh, but then so much more, as you say, will take place before, like really laying those foundations. Um,
Yeah.
just go on, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna, and that's the mindset and the shift in how we think about it that is key that we were talking
Mm,
about when I was
mm,
sharing that treehouse analogy, because
mm.
most people will think of productivity as being in the action. I'm taking action, therefore I'm being productive.
Yeah.
But if all you do is spend your time in that act part of
Mm.
that, five, pause, reflect, choose, that could be, yeah, the five, the
Five.
five stages of the progress cycle. If all you're doing is acting, taking action,
Yeah.
you're going to end up frazzled. You're going to end up frantic,
Yeah.
overwhelmed, running
Yeah.
around like a headless chicken with not really any clue
Mm,
why you're doing it.
mm,
Um, so yes,
mm,
it,
mm,
it is, you're right, it's an umbrella word and it's not just
mm.
taking action, it's all the other stuff that
Yeah.
goes around it.
Yeah. Five part pillar, five pillars.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You're so
Yeah.
right, though, that people think that productivity or to be productive means busy day. And we often go race against time.
Mm,
I've had like my thoughts and feelings around certain coaches that, for example, would say, let's automate everything, you know, all the links, all the blah blah blah, so that who knows what like the actual business owner, service provider like me then gets to do. It means that you get to do something else.
mm,
I am not a big fan of a really automated business.
mm.
And I quite like sending emails to my clients. Like I like making a Zoom link.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I've been seeing a conversation happening quite a lot lately around AI and
Okay.
what I
Mm.
guess AI can save us time, but what are we doing with that time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we doing more stuff that actually didn't really need to be done?
Yeah.
Or are we going out and sitting in the sun? Although you might
Mm.
not want to right now because it's really hot. But it's
Mm. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And if you get joy from that connection with people
Yeah.
and you want to feel human and the human to human connection, then why would you automate it?
Yeah.
Automate the life out of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I couldn't agree more. And a part of me genuinely sincerely believes that like at the end of every conversation becomes the question like how do you want to live? Like
Yeah.
what are we spending our time and resources on?
Mm,
Like how do you want to feel? Like it's the
yeah,
center question, isn't it?
it is.
Um,
And that how do you want to feel question is a big part of how I think about vision,
mm,
because I have always
mm,
struggled to know exactly what I am going to be doing
mm,
in 5 years, 10 years time, but I know how I want to be feeling.
mm.
And if I can remember that
Yeah.
and put any decisions and opportunities that come my way through that filter, is that going to lead to me feeling more or less of that thing? That
Mm,
can become a really good barometer for me about what to say
mm.
yes to and what is a no.
Oh, yes. Love
Mm.
that. If I may, if it's not too personal, can I know like how would you like to feel in 5, 10 years? May I ask?
Of course you may, yeah.
Okay.
Words for me that are really important are spacious,
Spacious.
calm.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Light.
Okay.
I want to tread lightly and feel like there is lightness in lots of different senses of the word. So I
Mm,
don't want complexity. I don't want a massively scaled business. I don't want
okay.
20 million clients. I don't need
Mm,
20 million pounds. I just want to feel like I've created a life where there's space
mm,
so that
mm,
I can go and do some pottery when I want to and I'm not chained to my
mm,
desk, so that I can, yeah, just feel this sense of expansiveness
mm,
and
mm.
calm.
Okay.
And from a lot of people, that would sound really boring, and that's not for them, and they want to feel buzzy and
Yeah.
excited and all the rest of it. But those are not my
Yeah.
feelings. I
Yeah.
like moments of that, but
Sure.
on the whole, if
Sure.
I can feel calm
Yeah. Ah,
and spacious, yeah.
calm, spacious. It's something that sounds quite lean about that, like quite
Mm,
nimble in the
yeah.
space that sort of decluttered. I absolutely resonate with that. And it does go through my head that sometimes I think, yeah, people could look at me and go, that's kind of a boring person. And I honestly could not care less. So I'm like, I
Absolutely.
strive for that. Like, I want to be the most vanilla person you've ever met.
Yeah, protecting my peace is another thing that comes up for me quite a lot. I really want to protect my peace as much as I
Mm.
can,
Yeah. Yeah.
which means not working with people who I know are going to stress me out and all of that.
Sure, sure.
Mm.
Totally. I personally feel that speaking to a like-minded person, you and I, striving for dull, boring, vanilla lives, you think there's always something. I know you mentioned as well that you had a previous life that was very hectic.
Yeah.
So you think it comes from a place of knowing what it means for life not to feel simple or to feel chaotic, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. There should be more of us shouting online about how dull our lives are, shouldn't there?
Be more like me. Yeah.
But there's a lot to be said for it. I work with people who love the busyness and the bouncing
Mm,
around all over the place, and they do love
mm,
it and they get a lot of joy from it, and it gives them a
sure.
lot, but it is also, I can see how exhausting that gets for them over time as well.
Okay, sure,
So,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all our jokes aside, I guess it comes back to the question, how does each and every person want to live?
Yeah.
And some people are like, give me the spice of life. Like, let me fly around literally all over the globe. Let me be super busy. And like, that's so cool if that's what people like really want, like right at their core. Cool, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's worth saying actually as well at this point, for both of us, I'm sure,
Mm,
I'm not about working with clients and then trying to turn them into wanting what I've got and being me.
sure. Yeah,
Like the clients that I work with who want that buzz and that excitement, I don't ever tell them that that's wrong.
yeah, yeah,
My job is to make sure that they are
yeah,
doing that in a purposeful, meaningful, intentional way and that they're
yeah,
not working themselves into the ground. I've always got my radar up for when I think someone's slipping
yeah,
into burnout so I can point that out and help
yeah,
them rein it back in,
yeah.
tell them that they need to rest. But I'm not about saying the
Mm,
only way to get things done and live a happy life is to do it my way. It's very
yeah,
much about what do you want? How do you want to feel? Let's get you there. And
yeah,
I know it would be the same for you as well.
yeah. It absolutely is the same for me.
Mm.
It totally is. And I guess clients will resonate when they want that. Because
Mm.
a part of me could be like, my way is the best. Like I could genuinely be like, my approach is superior, you know. Like I roll my eyes at myself, you know.
Mm.
I think some people love this, that we don't tell them what to do. And
Yeah.
also some other people like would hate our approach because we live in a world that people are like, let me pay my coach or even my therapist or whoever, my mediator, to tell me how I need to live.
Yeah.
Like I know I am so not the supporter, the helper, whatever I want to call me for some people. Have you found that too? That some people are like, no, tell me exactly how I need to live my life.
Yeah, they don't tend to come to me for that because they know that's not what they're going
Okay.
to get. I hope I
Yeah.
communicate that well enough that they don't come to me for that. But what I find really frustrating and heartbreaking is people that have spent a lot of time and a lot of money
Mm.
on those people and on those things, and then it
Mm.
doesn't work
Yeah.
because it is not correct. It's not right for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they come to me
Mm.
full of shame, full of embarrassment, full
Yeah.
of feeling like a failure because they
Yeah.
tried the just do it like this and it's all going to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
And they've spent and wasted years
Mm.
on those kinds of solutions before they find their way to me. And I
Yeah.
kind of find that heartbreaking.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
I
but
totally get
yeah.
that. Yeah. I totally get that. It really resonates with me. I I still have clients that have had very similar stories,
Mm.
and there's a lot to be said, and we certainly don't have to get into it in this episode. You and I'll probably just talk about this when we start recording. But it is true that I think that there's a lot to be said about a helping professional, coach, mediator, etc., etc., that will claim to be there to support clients find what they want to find, and then you begin working and it's exactly the opposite, and it's like, let me blah blah blah, let me tell you how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
um, and then as we say, people then get really confused about what's right and wrong for them, because if I think there's so much power and trust, so much trust that goes into who you hire as your coach, and
Yeah.
such a power dynamic, and we see all the time in our field, like coaches that take advantage and people who've had horror stories of
Mm.
working with mentors or coaches like us.
Yeah. No,
um
100%. Yeah, it's hard when you're starting out as well, I think, because you
mm,
don't know what you don't know,
yeah.
and it's very easy to get swept along in all of that.
Yeah.
Um, I think over time you become a little bit more jaded and a little bit
Mm,
more able to spot those kind
mm,
of things. But quite
yeah.
often people have spent a lot of money by the time they get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it's a challenge I mean, I won't speak for you, but I've found it a challenge
Hmm.
from a marketing point of view
Okay.
because people want to hear,
Yeah.
you
They
know,
do. Yeah.
this is the thing and it's going to
Yeah.
solve all of your problems and here's the
Mm,
5 step whatever.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not willing to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that can make it a slower journey for people to find me.
Yeah. Sure. I'm so
But
with you.
you know,
Yeah.
we've got to honor what feels right for us, haven't we, and our own integrity in all of this.
Yeah. I completely hear. I think integrity is a good word to use there. I
Mm.
think it's the longer game.
Yeah,
Because I totally see what you say about it's not a sexy business if you don't say, yeah, I'm going to solve this in 12 weeks. To me,
yeah.
that's like a glitzy, glamorous statement.
Mm.
But I don't know about yourself. Probably it's the same, that you get longer term, deeper clients and fewer clients over time. Like my retention rate is brilliant. Here I am
Yes.
just showing off, but
Yeah.
it's true though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because people feel seen, they feel heard, they feel understood, and they accept that,
Mm,
finding what works for you
mm,
and getting curious about what works for you. And as in a team dynamic as well, it's not just about what works for you and understanding your own working style, it's getting to understand
mm,
other people's and knowing that your
mm,
way isn't right and their way is wrong. They're
yeah,
just different, and you've got to find a way around all of that. All of that
yeah,
takes time, doesn't it? It's not
yeah,
a quick overnight fix.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Could not agree more. Yeah.
I feel like we could talk for another hour on all of this. There's so much we could say.
I know. Two boring women could put the world to right. Love it. Well, on this note, is there anything else you want to add? If there's any kind of message to people listening? Your
Yeah, I think the main thing that I would love, I mean, we've been all around the houses, haven't we, in this conversation, and I hope that it's been helpful. But I think I would love people to remember that analogy of the tree house to
mm,
help you understand that it's not a waste of time taking that time out. And also, what we talked about, it doesn't have to be a big convoluted thing, it can be 5 minutes. So
mm,
the importance of taking time in the tree house, remembering that productivity is what happens before you take action. And that whole pause,
mm,
reflect, choose before you start taking action is what's going to keep you
yeah,
doing the right things rather than trying to do all of the things.
yeah, I'm with you. Like the action part is the fifth pillar. There's another four,
Yeah.
like that we travel past first.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to link all of your places to go, the Make It Happen Club, your website down below. So if people
Amazing.
want to visit, they know where to find it. Um,
Wonderful. Thanks,
um,
Lily.
no, it's lovely to have you here, Louise. Thank you so much.